The February 7th, 2018 meeting of the Windsor Planning Commission will now come to order. Will the secretary please call the roll?
Gail Schick,
Present.
Victor Talon,
Present.
Doug Dennison,
Present.
Charles Schinner,
Here.
Tim Annable,
Here.
Travis Hinkst,
Here.
Daniel Foreman.
Here.
First item on tonight's agenda is the review of the agenda itself by the Planning Commission for any addition of items or consideration of anything to be added by the Planning Commission.
Mr. Chair, I move we accept the agenda as written. Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Talon, seconded by Commissioner Dennison, that we accept the agenda as presented. Those in favor of the motion will vote yes. Those opposed, vote no. Motion carries unanimously. Next item is public invited to be heard. If there is anyone in the audience who has an item that they wish to present to the commission that is not on tonight's agenda, now is the time to do so. And if you do have something you wish to present, if you would come up to the podium and give us your name and address, and you will have a 3-minute time period to give us your information. Seeing there be none beating feet to the podium, we'll keep moving here. The next item is the consent calendar, and this evening's consent calendar consists of the approval of the minutes of the January 17th, 2018 meeting.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the minutes of the January 17th, 2018 meeting.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Talon, seconded by Commissioner Annable, that we approve the minutes of January 17th, 2018 meeting. Those in favor of the motion will vote yes. Those opposed, vote no. And motion carries unanimously. I'll take that at 6-0. Moving into board action items. First item this evening is a request for a commercial corridor building material waiver, Eagle Crossing subdivision, 5th filing, lot 2, Fuzzy's Taco Shop. Melissa.
Yes, thank you. As mentioned, this is a waiver request from the commercial corridor guidelines. This is for Fuzzy's Taco Shop in Crossroads subdivision, lot 2. The commercial corridor plan design criteria includes a section on building materials. It allows for a wide variety of building materials, but it tends to have some kind of harmony over all the architecture. The main materials they promote are stone, brick, CMU, different kinds of CMU facings, and some other materials that are high quality and of high durability is what it talks about. It does cite, though, that stucco or EIFS is encouraged to be only secondary materials or an accent element, and limited to 35% of a building facade. In this particular application, the applicant is requesting that the south facade of the subject building be able to exceed this 35% limitation and go to, actually it's 42.31% stucco. I rounded down, but the commercial corridor plan does allow for a waiver process. This is before a planning commission. They make the decision. If there's a challenge to your decision, it'll go to town board. You can deny, well, I should start with grant, deny, or conditionally grant the application. And then there are some criteria to follow. One is if the strict application of the standard will either result in practical difficulties or hardships. Also, if the waiver, if it is approved, will also still protect the public interests equally or better than the standard that it is being, of which the waiver is requested, and then that the waiver request will not be detrimental to the public interest. Just a reminder on the purpose and intent of the corridor guidelines for development. It's to maintain and enhance the quality of the commercial development, to protect and enhance property values, and again, through quality development, and that new development complements the positive and unique character of surrounding properties. There are other ones in there, but those are the main ones for this particular subject. The site, if you remember, this actually came to you in December 6th Planning Commission meeting. We had, at that time, we had been working on the materials of this building. The site is located in the corner of Crossroads and Fairgrounds Avenue, General Commercial District. Quick reminder on the site plan, it's about a 57 to 59 square foot building. It's got the appropriate landscaping and the appropriate parking on the site. Just a reminder of what you've seen. Building elevations, some characteristics of the building. They have a mix of materials. Some are tiles, some are a cement siding, which is called hardy plank. I have some materials here for you. It does have some metal accents. That's the awnings that you see, and some railings at the patio. It's about 25 feet in height. It's got a flat roof, but it's a varying roof line. And then one of the features is this pronounced patio on the side. This top upper picture is as if you were going south on Fairgrounds and you're looking to the east. That's the view you would see. This is as if you were standing at the Crossroads, Fairgrounds Avenue, and looking northeast. This is the view you would see. This is the eastern facade. This is what you'd see in the parking lot. And then this is similar to the one you just saw in the corner, but it has a little bit more detail on what the southern facade looks like. This is this facade in question. It is about a 60-foot wide facade from this area over here to the edge of the slice wall. That's what this architecture feature is called. The scale of the building, again, it's only 25 feet by about 60-foot facade. It does have different design features trying to break up this facade. It has the wainscot, the slice wall. There's 2 slice walls, the architectural awnings, and fascia. I want to say fascias, but I'm not sure what that is. Lots of windows, and then also some recessed areas. This area up here is recessed, and this area up here is recessed. You can see it better in this diagram. And there's also some lighting fixtures that don't make it to the 3D model. But this is kind of an idea of what you'll see. In addition to the building design and facade treatments, and there is landscaping that will be in front of this facade as well. I think I just jumped ahead of myself, but basically the stucco calculations for each of the walls, each facade does meet 35%, except this one that gets 2.31%, but the overall stucco for the building itself is 25.5%. And here's the landscaping plan that I was talking about. There's some street trees in front of the facade and some other smaller ornamentals, some shrubs too. So again, it breaks up the facade even more. And then talking about those complementing nearby buildings, one thing that was noted is that there's the summit is much grander in scale. It is made out of CMU, which is a listed accepted item, but from the street, it has a finish that could be similar or is seen similar to a stucco. So with this kind of nearby neighboring building, that thought that the 60 foot by 25 foot broken up wall was not out of character with the neighborhood. So because of these facade treatments, the building design, the landscaping, the scale, and the overall amount of stucco on the building being much less than the 35%, staff feels that the intent of the corridor guidelines are met with this. It does not appear that the granting of the waiver would be contrary to public interest for this rule of, and it meets either equally or no less than the 35% of stucco rule, and the staff recommends approval of the waiver request to allow this one facade to reach 42.31% stucco. The applicant will weigh in on the burden part. That's the applicant's duty. And then I do have material samples here and some additional images of some of the material samples on existing buildings right now, if you need to see those. The applicant is here, and if you'd like to hear from him, he's here for answer any questions. And I'm here as well.
Any comments, questions from the commission? Personally, I don't see a problem with granting this. I think it's a good-looking building. You know, it's just the way which way you want to have the front door facing there. So I have no problem with allowing this on the south facade, so I'm okay with that.
So I understand the staff's position that it substantially meets the intent of the criteria. Is it your opinion that the applicant wouldn't need to express undue hardship associated with this? I have a hard time seeing where undue
Well,
hardship would be if that's
It's a
criteria that needs to be met.
one of them was a practical difficulty. I'm going to scroll back, so be careful. Some people don't like that. Extraordinary practical difficulty or undue hardship. And if I get this wrong, please excuse me and fill in. But talking to the architect to add more windows or to add different material, it just didn't have the area to do. To add more windows would take new design. To add different materials, it began to just look like they're adding material just to meet this standard rather than a uniform look on there. Like say the recessed walls up above, if those were just cladded with something else, it was a design thing. So maybe that's not an extraordinary practical difficulty, but with the other pieces weighing in there, it seemed, okay, how far do you? Okay, yeah.
Sir, can I get you to come up to the podium? Thank you.
Also, one of the decisions when we were trying.
Name and address, please.
Oh, hi, I'm Mark Rogers. I'm at 6334 Sanctuary in Windsor,
Thank you.
80550. And along with my partner Jason, we're the managing members at Fuzzies, and we'll be the owner of this building. And one of the decisions we were trying to accommodate the stucco criteria was how can we do that without changing the building structurally, which is kind of what she was talking about. I don't know that you'd call it a hardship, but it would have to necessitate us going back to the drawing board to just change some structural elements. So what we tried to do is we did lower the roof line about 2 feet to kind of make that splice wall pop a little bit more and give you almost a look of there's less stucco. But that one south facade, she's right, with the windows and the way the structural steel fell, it became challenging to try to get less stucco. So that what we tried to do then was add wainscot on the bottom. And so on one of those pictures she had, there's a band of black all around. And it may not matter, but that's the tile. So this is like the splice wall. And that'll be what's coming out of the side. And then the black is that hardy plank. And so on the south facade, it got where she's right, we were just adding element to kind of add it. So we were kind of hoping that we just leave it the way it is. And there'll be a sufficient amount of landscaping in front of it that we're hoping maybe draws your focus to that rather than the stucco. So there was some consideration. That's why we're asking for a waiver.
Thank you.
Hope that helps.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I was just looking at it as far as what the summit looks like, and that's, even though that's not a stucco product, it still has the same effect. I look at that all the time, and that looks fine, and it's matching up to that. So with that being said, I would move that we approve the waiver request to allow for one facade, the south facade, to have a 42.31% stucco and as purposed, as submitted by the designs.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Talon, seconded by Commissioner Schinner, that we recommend approval of the waiver request to allow the south facade to have up to 42.31% stucco as proposed in the submitted design plans. Those in favor of the motion will vote yes. Those opposed vote no. And the motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now close our regular meeting, open up a public hearing for town board annexation petition to annex and zone certain properties known as Swanson annexation to the town of Windsor. John Turner and Paul, you got the floor.
Do you have this is legislative, not public petitions? Thank you, Mr. Chair. This annexation and zoning request has been reviewed in accordance with Article 1, Chapter 15 of the Municipal Code, which states the purpose of this article is to establish a procedure to bring land under the jurisdiction of the town in compliance with the Colorado Municipal Annexation Act of 1965 as amended. The subject property is approximately 29 acres. It is located north of County Road 74, or Harmony Road, and to the west of State Highway 257. The purpose of this annexation is to annex the Harmony Road right-of-way, which is the strip you see here, as well as what's known as the Swanson parcel, in order to assemble adjoining properties as a part of the proposed Rocky Mountain Sports Park. Development of the sports park itself will require additional public hearings before Planning Commission and Town Board. So I do want to emphasize that this hearing tonight before you is only for the annexation and not for anything to do with the future hearings on the sports park development. The zoning map of the area, there is general commercial zoning to the north with limited industrial to the south. There's also agricultural zoning in unincorporated Weld County in the area as well. The land use plan contained in the Windsor Comprehensive Plan does depict the property as commercial, so it is in conformance with, the proposed zoning is in conformance with the land use plan. The comprehensive plan growth strategy includes the property within this developed area, and the plan contemplates the Harmony Road corridor and foresees it as one of the main growth areas within Windsor as both commercial and residential. It also identifies it as a major corridor for east-west travel. The applicant held a neighborhood meeting on December 18th of last year, and neighborhood meeting notes are enclosed in the packet materials for your reference. At the January 8th, 2018 meeting, Town Board adopted a resolution that declared certain findings of fact concerning the Swanson annexation, determined substantial compliance with the Colorado Municipal Annexation Act, and established the public hearing dates, which the first of which is tonight, and February 12th before the Town Board. An annexation impact report has been prepared for the property, outlining adequate provision of utilities and services to the property, maintenance of infrastructure, and a finding of no impact to the school district, as the general commercial zoning would not allow any residential uses. On the screen is the plat for the annexation, the Swanson piece here, and the Harmony corridor as well. The financial impact of this annexation is analyzed as well. The municipalities of Windsor and Severance, as well as the North Lake Metropolitan District, signed an agreement for preliminary design, right-of-way acquisition, and final design for sanitary sewer extension to the property. Those three stakeholders have contributed their proportionate shares for the costs of that phase. A subsequent agreement is anticipated in a similar manner for sharing of those costs. The installation and financing of all other non-sanitary sewer utilities are the sole responsibility of the applicant. The Harmony Road right-of-way included with this annexation would be maintained by the town once completed. The proposal is in conformance with the comprehensive plan, including the growth framework plan, commercial and industrial areas framework plan, and the community facilities and infrastructure. The proposal is also in conformance with the strategic plan, including the section on prosperous local economy, as well as the section on diverse, desirable recreation and cultural opportunities. Notifications were sent out in accordance with the municipal code for this annexation. Staff recommends the Planning Commission forward a recommendation of approval of the Swanson annexation and the general commercial zoning designation to Town Board as presented. I do want to note the applicant's representative is present, should you have any questions for them, and that's all I have for you.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Since this is the public hearing portion of the process, if there is anyone in the audience who wishes to provide us with their opinion, we can do that now at this time. So if anybody wishes to speak, can give your comments to the commission. If you come to the podium, give us your name and address, and you'll have a 3-minute time frame to do so. There is a red light, yellow light, green light indicator on the corner of the podium there. When it gets to 30 seconds left in the 3 minutes, the yellow light will come on. So it gives you forewarning of the red light.
Thank you. I'm Joan Clayback. I live at 37076 Soaring Eagle Circle. I'll read fast. We lived in Fort Collins for 38 years and built our house in Soaring Eagle Ranch in 2009. We are birders and gardeners and achieved the dream of our lifetime by building on 2 acres adjacent to Windsor Reservoir. We came for the acreage and the quiet setting and dark skies at night. There are many similar neighborhoods nearby: Valley View Ranch, Bridal Hill, Mariah Estates, North Shores, Ventana, the Home Ranch, Alexander Estates, Roth Estates, Wild Wing, and others. There are also several large acreage gated estates in the area, and there is farmland. We came for this quiet, peaceful, rural atmosphere. We, the people in these neighborhoods, are trying to live normal lives, pursuing our interests. 2 of our interests are birding and gardening. Soaring Eagle Ranch has given us a great place to do both. This winter, we had a high count 2 days ago of 40 bald eagles on Windsor Reservoir. We see this from our house. We have 2 active eagle nests in the neighborhood. We get other special birds at different times of the year, including sandhill cranes, white-faced ibis, great blue herons, egrets, and many kinds of ducks. The birds migrate at night and do so with the aid of our dark skies and the stars that shine in them. Baseball lights and lights from many commercial places are a deep concern for us, for ourselves, and the birds. Last week we watched the lunar eclipse from our front porch. The lack of artificial lights increased the positive experience. The noise of many people cheering on their baseball players was not something we had ever imagined would happen to us out here. The thought of hearing concert noise from their stadium at our home is very unpleasant. We are also here for our views of the mountains. Putting a 150-foot hotel in the middle is totally unacceptable, as is a 75-foot high stadium. Hundreds of 135-foot light poles are also unacceptable. Their 160-foot netting poles will trap many birds, including the thousands of Canada geese that have used these fields for many years. And to that, add to that, these people are requesting no noise limits and no lights off rules. The increased traffic in the area is another deep concern. Getting out of our neighborhood is fairly easy now. What will it be like in a few years? Putting a sports park and accompanying restaurants, hotels, etc., is a complete lack of consideration and disservice to the residents, taxpayers, and voters that are already here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I just want to remind everybody the agenda item we're talking about is the annexation and zoning. The sports park concept is not part of this agenda item, so just a little reminder there. Anyone else wish to talk?
Mr. Chair, I'd also point out, it didn't look like looks like the yellow light might be burnt out.
Oh.
So just so you're aware, Yellow light might.
This won't take
The
too
trap-
You won't take that long, huh?
The trap door won't open that quickly.
I'm Marsha Myer, and I live at 6711 Stevens Street in Windsor. And I'm here because, well, my husband and I are requesting that you do not recommend approval of the Swanson annexation because it does facilitate the development of the Rocky Mountain Sports Park. The proposed use of this land is totally incompatible with the existing estate neighborhoods and scattered individual homes which completely surround it. Section 32 already has too much commercial zoning. 45 years ago, we chose to live here for privacy, quiet, dark nights, landscape views, and amazing wildlife. By its very nature, this business will eliminate all of these qualities that we cherish. It's purely a tourist attraction. Thousands of strangers will have immediate access to our currently safe streets, threatening our security. We're asking you to stop the advancement of this destructive proposal early in the process before it goes any further. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hello, my name is Rosalyn Lyoto. I live at 369-330 Weld County Road 15, Windsor. And I have strong concerns about the annexation of this property, primarily because of the way the land is laid out up there. I went to the neighborhood meeting last night, and you can tell from, I'm sure you're all aware of their plans, and even in the planning document, you can see, sorry, I don't have much voice here, but there are many parcels that this seems like it's just kind of grab this spot. You have homes here that'll be isolated. Here's another one. You have homes down here. You have homes here. And this area just kind of zigzags everywhere. And by annexing this property and continuing through with it, you're not looking at the overall area. Even last night at the meeting, I asked about when they did the road study, they didn't show driveways. They just showed their proposal. They didn't show driveways along here or along 15. And I kept asking, what about all the traffic that's going to be getting up to these ball fields? And they said, oh, they'll come over here, they'll come up through here. And I said, no, they're not. They're going to come right up 15, and that's what they're going to do. That's what their maps will tell them to do. They'll figure out that's the closest way. And they said, oh, no, they'll come through here. And I kept talking to even Norris Design, and I said, what's your plan? And they said, don't have one. So I see that in this whole process. They literally said, don't have one. I talked with Rocky Mountain Sports Park about the whole traffic layout. He pretty much said, nope, can't do it. Nope, nope, nope. That was the answer. And so I'm seeing the way this is getting pushed in, all the properties that are around it, that you need to look, you need to pay attention, like the lady said, all the residential areas around here and how this property is going to affect once the project starts going. You need to take that into account. You know, they say, well, they don't have a way to get up here. They're just going to go through here. And you know, even if you have family, if you're up here watching soccer games, you want to go to Chick-fil-A in Timnath, you're going to go the quickest way. You're not going to go back through here and around and everything. So you need to look at the overall impact that annexing this property is going to have with the little isolated parcels that they're just going to put chain link fence around to fence them off. So just make sure you look at the whole project before you send it through. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that was well timed. Anyone else wish to speak? Anyone?
Move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Second. And moved by Commissioner Tellon, second by Commissioner Foreman, that we close the public hearing. Those in favor of the motion will vote yes. Those opposed, vote no. Motion carries unanimously. We'll reconvene our regular meeting, going on to the last item this evening, which is a recommendation to the town board for the Swanson annexation and zoning. Paul, anything further?
Nothing further to add.
Does the applicant have any information he wishes to add? John? Okay. Comments, questions from the commission?
So, question to staff, your right-of-way next down in a certain area along the road. So my understanding is part of the annexation, Windsor takes over, I don't know what the right word is, but they have to maintain the roadway, right? And so your right-of-way next down, kind of in the middle there, is there a reason for that?
It's following existing property lines. For the expansion of Harmony to 4 lanes, it would require additional right-of-way from those property owners.
So that's existing roadway, that would not be the 4-lane piece?
Correct.
So you'd be able to go up to 4 lanes and it would have to neck down and then go back out? Or you'd have to go through a separate agreement to acquire that land to?
Yeah, the land would be acquired. It wouldn't zigzag from 2 to 4. It would be acquired to.
So part of this is really enabling 4 lanes on Harmony, which is overburdened to begin with, traffic-wise today.
It's a first step towards that.
Right. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Doug?
Paul, the area around this parcel is already part of the town of Windsor, correct?
Correct. I don't know if you can see the map on my screen, all the red is within Town of Windsor. Anything that's the colored, the red, pink, orange is.
And that's been zoned as general commercial for some period of years,
Correct.
Do you know the answer?
Long time.
Long time?
Oh, it's changed.
Okay. And then I
Yeah.
assume, I'm sorry, I assume the section of Harmony from this property to the east to 257 is already part of the town's responsibility since it's in the town limits?
Correct. It's already
Okay.
in the town.
Okay.
Any other questions, Doug? Any other comments on the board?
Mr. Chair, I move that we forward a recommendation of approval of the Swanson annexation and general commercial zoning designation to the town board as presented by staff.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Talon, second by Commissioner Dennison, that we forward a recommendation to the town board of the Swanson annexation and zoning as presented by staff this evening. Those in favor of the motion will vote yes. Those opposed, vote no. And motion carries unanimously. Communications from the Planning Commission. Mr. Animal.
No communication?
Mr. Fowler? Mr. Yanks?
It's nice here.
No communications.
None for me?
Dennison? Nothing. Town Board Liaison, Ken.
No communication, Mr. Chair.
Communications from staff. Paul?
No.
Scott?
My only communications is just congratulate Amanda as being named our new deputy town clerk.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations.
And the crowd roars.
You're sure moving up quickly here.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Okay.
Move to adjourn.
Are adjourned.